Hello and welcome to part 14 of 100 skills that if you learn them, if you practice them, can increase your success, not just today, not just tomorrow, but for the rest of your life. It's useful to take a 10-year, a 20-year, a 30-year view and imagine if you're going this direction and you learn these skills, where will they take you if in 30 years you're heading in this direction? Right? Every time you learn something, it changes your angle. It steers you in a different direction. Now, when you turn the rudder of a boat, when you turn the wheel of a motorbike, just a little bit, in the first second, it's almost no change at all. In a few minutes, maybe you cross the road, right? But if you're out in a boat and you turn the rudder and you change direction just a few degrees, thousands of miles later, you end up in a different country. And every time you make a change, it's the same principle. Skill number 50 is fail by trying new things. Now, another way of saying this is to try new ways of doing things, new ways of thinking, new ways of feeling, new ways of relating, new ways of speaking, new books, different jobs, different opportunities. Try different things. And because different things will take you into the unknown, right? We have our little box, and we stay in this box, right? And so we know everything in the box, right? We know what's over here, we know what's over here, and so we don't make mistakes in that little box. But outside the box, outside the experiences that we've had, is a much bigger box. It's the unknown. And if we come out here, maybe we bump into something because we didn't know. We bump into something we didn't know, and so we're going to fail. But the lesson behind this truth is that the freedom that it gives us, the expansion, the ability to grow, of going into an entirely new box, right? Of entering a bigger space, just like learning to drive a bicycle, you maybe will fall down, but for the rest of your life, you are free to drive a bicycle. If you try to start knitting for the first time, you're going to make mistakes and there'll be a mess of fabric and wool. But then you try again and you try again. And so what this says is that failure is good. You should plan on failing at least 100 times a year. A few times a week, do something that results in failure. Now, the reason for this, and I fail at most things most of the time. I go on a dating site and I write a letter and the person doesn't reply. So it's a failure. I write a letter and they reply, but I think, this is a very boring conversation. I'm not sure I want to continue this conversation, so I don't continue the conversation. And I fail again, meaning because I'm trying to create an interesting conversation with someone that wants to grow, but this person doesn't want to grow, or this person doesn't have time. And I want to create a relationship with someone who has time to grow. And this one doesn't have time, and this one is too scared, and this one. So I fail. But in any endeavor in life, if you continue to try, if you keep picking up the bicycle and driving again, eventually you learn. So failure is the path to learning. And so what's useful is to make sure that you have important goals, like having good relationships, good, healthy relationships. That's a very important goal. And so it's okay to fail, as long as we're learning. So you want to fail and you want to learn. You want to fail, you want to learn. You can learn different things in different situations. But if you're not failing at all, what it means is you're not learning anything. It means your box is very small. So you're not failing. Right? In my business, it's very easy to win because I've done it for 30 years. So I'm doing something new. I'm doing a nonprofit, an NGO. Why? Because I haven't done it for 30 years. So I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail in lots of ways that I wouldn't fail if I just did my business, because I know the business. Right? I know so many things about it. So it's easy to succeed. But if you want to grow, you have to keep expanding. You have to start doing things that you don't know. You have to start learning things that you don't fully understand. You have to read a book by someone new. And then you think, well, is that true? Is it not? Right? So skill 50, fail by trying new things. What it means is you're expanding your box. And you don't have to do it all at once. Right? But I fail 90% of the time when I try something new. Right? I try here, I go to a new country, but I didn't like the food here. I didn't like this, so I failed, right? I go to another country, I didn't like this and this, so I failed, right? But as I do that, I also learn. I say, okay, I like here. I like here. I failed here, 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 and here. I went to this hotel. It was so noisy. I went to this hotel. The TV was on the next door. I went to this one. The beach wasn't very nice. But I went then to this one, and it was so quiet and peaceful. Right? So I failed, but then I succeed. And that's the way life works. As you expand, you go into the unknown. Because it is unknown, you make mistakes. And by learning and continuing to do that, step by step by step, the world gets bigger. I remember my first trip to the Philippines. I had never been on a plane for more than 8 hours, and that was not very fun, sitting in a small seat for 8 hours. Yeah. And I knew that to go to the Philippines would be 15 hours, 16 hours, 17 hours. This was so unknown. Would I like it? You know, would I wish I'd stayed home? I'd never been to Asia before. What would happen, right? I didn't know. I tried to figure it out, right? I tried to think, but I put it on a list of things I wanted to do before I died. And then I went, I survived. And I had a number of new and interesting experiences. There were things that failed right and left. There were lots of things that didn't work, but it was a new world opening up. And I decided, okay, good to know. And the next trip I made was to Thailand. Again, a very long flight, but I knew I could survive because I tried it. And I made it, right? And that was even more exciting, a whole new culture, right? Because the Philippines is very influenced by American culture, but Thailand is completely different. So we want to fail because we understand that the only way to expand our world, the only way to try new things is to fail. In other words, failure is not a problem. If we're not failing, that means our life is staying very small, and that's a problem. So if we understand that we want to get from our little box to a bigger world, and we understand that every time we fail, we're stepping out into a bigger world. And the next time we'll be a little bit more graceful. It's like dancing. You step on someone's toes, you try this, you lose the step, the rhythm isn't there. But then, later you start to flow with the music. But the first time you stumble, failure means that you're stepping into new territory. So think about each week in this skill. So in this week, you think, what will I do new? What will I do new that I didn't do before? And if you try it, right, you will do some little mistake, some big mistake, and that means you're going into new territory. If you look at your week and say, everything was perfect this week, I didn't make a single mistake, well, then you didn't try something very new. So at least every month, try to look back and think, oh, I made a big mistake. I really didn't know what was happening there. Because that means you are stepping out into new territory. Now, the goal is not to make such a big mistake that you die or get sick or lose all your money. That's a very big mistake. Then you're not available to expand into a big world. Your goal is to risk maybe 10%, right? 10% risk into this new venture, this new project, and expect to fail, right? Lose the 10%, right? And then try again, save up, practice, etc. And if it's a good goal, risk again, another 10%, right? So the general mindset is every time you fail, you're stepping into a bigger world. And that's a good thing because the world is infinitely big. As we move to step 51, repair and prepare for the future every day, right? So you come home from work, and you prepare your water bottle for the next day. You notice that one of your shirts, the stitching is starting to come undone, right? So you quickly stitch it up before the end of the day, right, so that it's ready. You hear something a little strange in the motorbike. So you immediately stop by the repair shop and try to learn what it is. You may or may not have the money to fix it right away, but you want to know, is this safe to drive? You want to repair anything that's broken. You want to clean your tools at the end of the day. If your gasoline is getting low in the motorbike, fill it up. Now, this is obviously something you're doing to the best of your ability because the next day is new. There could be a typhoon. You could get a call for a great opportunity. Someone may want to meet you. Right? And if you're not ready, because I have to stitch my shirt, I have no gas in the motorbike, I have none of this. Part of this is also to save money. Open a bank account. Put money into a piggy fund so that the next day, the next week, the next year is brighter. You want to learn skills. Tomorrow I'm going to do this. Go on to YouTube, how to lay some tile, how to plant this plant, how to grow some vegetables. You want to go on to YouTube and study things that will make your future easy. You want to prepare. You want to save a little money, 5 pesos here, 100 pesos here. Save a little money to prepare for a great opportunity. Because in your life, in every person's life, however miserable, some people have miserable lives. They're born into an abusive family. They're humiliated in school, right? They're teased and bullied by their neighbors. And we see the animal in people, right? If we look at evolution, and we look at chimpanzees and we look at monkeys, we see that many times monkeys and chimpanzees are quite cruel to one another. The biggest monkey takes the meat, right, and gives a little bit to the others, not sharing it equally. Right? The biggest monkey takes the best woman, not sharing the, if there's a lot of bullying that takes place, and you see a lot of cruelty. And what if someone's sick and nobody takes care of you? Every human being has different brains, and one brain is the reptilian brain. This is the same brain as a crocodile. It's very cruel. It exploits and it takes things, kills things because they're weak. And we have the rational brain, which hides and creates secrets and lies. The snake, right? The strategy of a snake. It's in every human body. And we see the animal, the snake, in each person. Now, in Christian terms, this is called the devil, the serpent, right? But in very scientific terms, we are all reptiles. We're all snakes because we have the same brain as a crocodile, as a snake. And we have that part of us. And you see that in your cult, in your culture, right? Bullying the poor, bullying the weak, right? Beating women, shouting at women, bullying women because they're weaker physically. And you see the hostility and you see the hate in women, right? Refusing to love, punishing, blaming, shaming. Why didn't you get more money? Well, why don't you go and get some money? Right? You see the hate, you see the hostility. And it's difficult to deal with the animal inside each person. Right? The human being is more advanced. The human being is more advanced and has an empathic brain, a caring brain. But every human being has a reptilian brain, a snake brain, and a rational brain that lies and cheats and secrets and a human brain. There's three brains. And when people are scared, they often focus on the reptile brain, how to avoid doing things, how to get what they want without caring for other people. Right? So preparing for the future, you may meet the snake inside your partner. You may meet the snake inside yourself. Right? The serpent, the snake, the cruel one that is inside of you. It doesn't care. It's selfish, that's greedy. Maybe your partner gets bored of it. You know, they've seen your snake too many times. You're lazy, you're greedy, you're judgmental, you're cruel. You say, yeah, I'm going to pick a different woman. Well, you want to prepare because there are always going to be crises. In your life, there will be maybe 4 very, very big events. Your whole family is killed. The house is washed down the river. A big truck drives into your tricycle and half of you are dead. And there's no money. There will be at least 4 major crises, major traumas in your life. And if you are lazy, if you always say, oh, tomorrow, I'll study that tomorrow. I'll learn a new job tomorrow. I'll save money tomorrow, right? I'll fix the motorcycle tomorrow. Then when you have a big crisis, nothing works. You go to your motorbike, but you were too lazy to fix it, so it doesn't work. And you desperately need to go to the hospital, but it doesn't work, so your baby dies, right? You go to and you have no clothes because you didn't wash them, right? There will be big crises in your life. Now, if you are prepared, if you have learned everything that you can in the easy times, right? Because there will be a big crisis, a big problem. And then for 5 years, it'll be easy. No big problems. If in that 5 years you save money, you learn skills, you fix the motorbike, you educate, you clean the house, you take care of the garden, you plant the food, then when the big crisis comes, you have enough. It's not easy, but you can survive. But if in that 5 years you laze around, you get drunk, you go into debt, and you get a big crisis, what can you do, right? Your life is ruined, right? Because you didn't prepare, you didn't take time. So at the end of every day, you prepare for the next situation. If a tool is broken, you buy a new tool, you repair it. If something is dirty, you clean it. At the end of the cooking, etc., you wash the kitchen so that you're ready for the next day. Because here's the other thing. There's also going to be 4 big miracles, 4 big opportunities. Someone's going to call, can you meet me right now at the airport? I have a big opportunity for you. If you say, oh, God, I don't have any clothes, the kitchen isn't clean, the motorbike is not repaired, I don't have any money. Okay, so the big opportunity goes to another person. You weren't ready. You're going to meet someone who could change your life, you could fall in love, but you didn't bother to prepare. You didn't bother to save any money. I'd love to meet you, but I can't pay for the bus. And they think, right, this person is so disorganized, they cannot even buy a bus fare? They're 30 years old. Nothing? It's too disorganized. So, okay, this is someone who doesn't prepare for life. So the opportunity goes to someone else. You get a job interview. Can you be in 1 hour to do this interview? We need this. No, I didn't fix my clothes. I didn't fix the motorbike. I didn't do this. I'm hungry. I didn't feed myself. I'm not ready. There will be 4 big opportunities that if you are ready for them. Now, they come rarely, every 5 years, every 10 years, every 20 years, right? A big possibility is right there if you are ready. If you study, if you learn, and you say, okay, I'm ready for it. This is it. I've been waiting for this. And you climb up. Your life gets 10 times better. And so this practice, this skill of repair and prepare, knowing you know two things with this skill. You know that there will be horrible things happening in some way that you can't imagine, because every life has that. So you prepare and you repair. And you know that unexpectedly, you didn't see it, but there's going to be an amazing, beautiful opportunity. Are you ready for it? See, if you don't prepare your mind for it, oh, I'm so depressed. Oh. And you get the call like, oh, there's a job opportunity, but I'm so depressed. It's pointless. And you stay home. Your big opportunity passes because your mind is not repaired, right? Somebody knocks you down and you don't repair your mind. You don't prepare for the new day. You just drink. You just eat. I'm not prepared. Oh, I don't want to feel it, right? You have to repair your mind when it starts to go crazy with meditation, with goals. You have to take action. You have to repair your mind when it goes crazy. You have to repair your heart when it is hurt. You have to send love to that hurt. But I hate it. And you have to send love to that hate. You have to repair and prepare. Because otherwise, right, when you're so depressed, you get into a motorcycle accident. Now you have no money, you're depressed, and you've got broken bones. That's hard. You have to repair your mind, your heart, your body. And this is not meant to be easy. This is incredibly hard. But that's why it is a discipline. That's why it's a skill. That's why many people don't do it. They just go along. Their life gets steadily worse, right? Or they go up and they go down, right? But to do above average, to have power in your life, it's to heal our own mind, to learn what book do I have to read to get back to stop being crazy. So that's skill 51. Skill 52 is the skill of winning while losing. Now, most of the time, we lose if we do all kinds of things. Most of the time you meet someone, you try to build a relationship, you lose. They don't really love you the way you want to be loved, so you lose that. And you don't love them the way they want to be loved, so you lose, you fail in that, right? Most of the time, you get a job. But the job is tiring. It's not all that great. Maybe after a few years, it's boring. You wanted a different job. You wanted to be a model, or you wanted this, but you failed, right? You lost that job, and now you have this job. So you lose. That's normal. I lose all the time, right? You lose all the time if you aim big. Now, part of what this means is that you're aiming big. If your goal is to sweep the house once a day and cook 3 meals, you win all the time, right? Because it's a small world. But if you try for a goal that takes you outside, you're going to lose. That's normal. Whenever I try something new, I lose most of the time. Now, this skill is about winning at the same time that you're losing. And I'll give you an example. This vlog, this YouTube channel, may lose. It's a new idea, right? It's a new idea. I've never done it before. I've never talked to Filipinas before. It's also very in-depth, right? Most Filipinas I meet don't like thinking that much. And so the channel, of course, I would love it to touch, hundreds of thousands of Filipinas and improve their lives. That's the goal, to touch hundreds of thousands of Filipinas and improve their lives. But because it's new, I will very likely fail, right? Hundreds of thousands of Filipinas will not watch the channel. And if they do, they won't change. They'll just, I'll go watch TikTok, right? Because it's easier. So I will fail, and then I will fail again. That's very likely, statistically, in my experience. So why do the channel? Why? Because maybe it'll fail and then it'll... why do it? Well, this is where this skill of winning at the same time that I'm losing is coming in. It's a skill I use all the time because the odds are high that I will fail, right? So I start a new relationship and I fail. The woman didn't love me the way I wanted to be loved. She didn't receive the love I wanted to give her. I failed. But at the same time I was failing, I was writing and I was getting clearer about what I wanted. And so I gained clarity. I win. At the same time I was failing, I was having a new experience here and here and here. And so I win. At the same time I was failing, I was meeting this person and this person, right? I failed to be loved by her. I failed to love her in the way she wanted. But I met someone while I was spending time, and maybe I will succeed with her. Similarly, I am winning with these skills. All of these skills that I'm writing and sharing with you, they're good skills for me too. When you teach something, you learn it at a deeper level. And so I may fail to touch 100,000 Filipinas, but I may still improve my own life by thinking about these ideas, because these are good ideas. Anyone who thinks about these ideas, who takes action, their life will go up. Now, I have been winning while failing my entire life. I failed at this, I failed at this, but each time I grew stronger, I learned more. I prepared more. And then I succeed here, and then I succeed here, and I succeed here. If you understand this point of view, win while you are failing, then you can do big things that you think, well, this isn't going to work. They're never going to accept me for this job. Okay, fine. Go to the interview. Learn while you're in the interview. Ask the person, what could I do to have a better chance of getting this job in the future? What do you look for? And learn. And then they reject you, they pick someone else, but now you know how to prepare for the next interview. You win while you are failing, and then it's not a failure, because that's how life works. The last skill, 53, is visualize what you want. Take time every day before you go to bed to imagine something beautiful, something good, something true. To imagine it. Feel what it feels like to be totally and completely loved. Feel the feeling. Do you know what it feels like to be completely and totally loved? Do you know what it feels like to feel safe to feel secure, to feel abundant. I have everything that I need. Do you know what that feels like? Feel it. Imagine the picture and feel the feeling for 10 minutes a day. And visualize what parts of reality would change in order for you to have this feeling all the time. Let's do it together. Imagine something that you want, that you desire. And now imagine that you already have it. See it. And then feel what it feels like. Feel what it feels like to have that. You know, this is a very powerful skill because even if you never get that thing in that way, you feel great 10 minutes a day. And if you don't practice this, you may feel depressed, tired, lonely, stressed, anxious the entire day. But every time you practice this skill, you feel abundant, you feel alive, you feel loved, you feel loving for 10 minutes of perfect love, it's wonderful. You visualize exactly what you want, and you feel the feelings. You know, and the deeper secret is what we really want is not the thing. We want the feeling. And so you've already succeeded. The only reason we want money is we want to feel relaxed. But if in visualizing the money we relax, we got to feel relaxed without needing the money. The only thing we really want in a relationship is to feel loved. But if we feel totally and completely loved, even before we have the relationship, we've already won. We already have what we want. We gave it to ourselves by allowing ourselves to feel it. It's a tremendous success to have those 10 minutes a day of beauty, truth, goodness, and good feelings. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on part 15.